Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the new L'Oreal Color Riche Dual Effects eyeshadow palettes. And this is what it looks like. The one that I got is in Absolute Taupe. I paid $8.79 for it at Bed Bath & Beyond. And I think these are permanent, but there's really no way to know for sure. It doesn't say limited edition anywhere on the package, but that doesn't mean anything. So I'm not 100% positive, but I think they're permanent because a lot of the shades of the regular rectangular shaped L'Oreal Color Riche palettes have been clearanced at a lot of stores, so I think that that's the reason why they did that, was to make room for these to come in to have a permanent space on the shelf, I think. Can you hear that? I don't know if my microphone is picking that up. The birds that live in my yard are so vocal that, and they sing so loud. It's kind of a wonderful thing, actually, unless it's like 6 o'clock in the morning and you're not ready to get up yet. Anyway, sidetracked here. So anyway, I have used this 2 or 3 times now, and that's good because first impressions can sometimes be misleading. And let me give you a better look at the palette here. You get a nice highlight color, and then I just love that taupey color right towards the top there, this one here. So I have this as my highlight, this is on my lids, this is the shade I have in the crease, and then I also drag this down along the lower lash line, and then I just put the tiniest little bit of this in the outer corner. So yeah, that's what I have on. The first time that I used this, so I guess I've used it twice. The first time I used it, I used more of that dark color, and it is very, very intense, and it just overwhelmed the whole look. So I like it better now because I didn't use quite as much of that dark color. And I like this palette. Do I have things that I like more? Of course, because, you know, department store eyeshadows versus drugstore eyeshadows, there's no comparison really. It's a world of difference. I think you're probably better off spending a little bit money and getting department store eyeshadows if you can. However, that being said, this is very nice and probably L'Oreal's best effort in the world of eyeshadows, with the exception of the Infallibles. The Infallibles are amazing, and I don't know why I don't reach for those more often. Probably because they have a lot of sparkle and shimmer and sometimes fallout. They're very, very intense, and my tastes are more subdued these days than they once were. So anyway, yeah, this is a very nice palette, and for $8 and change, that only breaks down to like $2 and change in eyeshadow. This combination of colors, at first I wasn't too sure about this because the lid shade, or the one that I used as a lid shade, is very cool, and then the one that I used as a crease shade is actually pretty warm. So I wasn't really sure about these colors and how they worked with each other, but I like them a lot better now because the first time I used them, what I didn't realize was that there was sort of an overcoat spray shimmer thing going on. And while I like the eyeshadows, I felt like they were maybe just a little bit too shimmery. I mean, your highlight shade, you kind of want that to be shimmery, but the other shades is more of a matter of personal preference. And I prefer things that aren't like crazy shimmery or glittery. And what happened was, the first time I used the palette, I was getting a lot of shimmer for that lid color. And then today when I used it, it was a whole different story. Then I found out what the eyeshadow was really like because I put my brush in the exact same spot, and this time there wasn't all that shimmer. And it became much more what I wanted it to be. It's not matte, but it's a shimmer that is more like a satin, I would say, like a satin finish. And I love that type of finish for eyeshadows. So, let's see. Oh, why don't I swatch them for you? So there's the highlight. Very nice highlight. There's the lid shade. Really nice taupe. There is, oh, I didn't swatch that very good. There's the crease color. It isn't coming across as being very pigmented on my finger, but it definitely is when you work with it in the crease. And then this darkest color is really, it's intense. It's almost like too pigmented. I just barely tapped my brush in there and then added it like to the corners of my look, and I blended it and blended it and blended it, and it was still like too intense. So I think because I prefer a much softer look, I think the next time I do this, I'm going to forego that darkest color altogether, because I started off with just those top 3 colors, and then I thought, geez, you know, if I'm going to review this product, I really should use every single color in the palette. But I actually prefer a softer look, and I like it better without the 4th shade. What I'll do is, if I remember, because my memory is terrible, in my next video I'll use the palette again, and then I won't add that 4th shade, and you'll see what I mean. I really like it so much more without that deep dark color, because my coloring is pretty fair, so the darker colors tend to just overwhelm the look. But this is a really, really nice palette, and I think if I wasn't a makeup collector and didn't have like a ton of eyeshadows already, I think I would be very interested in trying some of the other palettes in this range. But because I have so much and I'm so overwhelmed with how many eyeshadows that I have right now, I don't think I'll buy any more. But it is very, very nice for drugstore, and especially once you get past the overcoat. It's not even really an overcoat. It just seems like, it's like, yeah, I guess it is. It's like a shimmer spray on the top, and then what's underneath is more of a satin finish. And I really like it. They're very easy to blend, and they go on really nice. Of course, I always use some type of eyeshadow base. Yesterday, when I used it, I used my Painterly paint pot, and today I decided to use concealer just to see if there was going to be a difference, and they went on pretty much the same either way. I can't say how it would perform without some type of base, because I always use a base when I do my eyeshadows, not just to make them go on nicer, but also to cover like any veining or discoloration that I have. So that's it, my review for the new L'Oreal Color Riche Dual Effects eyeshadow palettes, and I give it a thumbs up. I think for drugstore eyeshadows, this is very good, and I say that because that is the one category that drugstore makeup seems to have a tough time with when it comes to quality. There isn't really a lot out there. I would say the majority of the drugstore eyeshadows are not that great. So this is very good, and I think if you bought this, you would be very happy with it. So that's it for today, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!